Hey guys, Sen here. Today I have one of the sickest hits that I've done in the clan capital. Now, replays got wiped by maintenance, but I made sure to at least have the attacks recorded without commentary just in case, which is now coming in so clutch. And since I won't be able to click on defenses or interact with the map in any way as I voice over the replays, I've decided to at least draw out the plan for this thumbnail attack on my sketching app. So we're up against the Barbarian camp, which I typically recommend going air against, but you can see against this base, it's super weird and spread out to where almost everything on the base is in this one big compartment like this, with the exception of the rocket artillery and giant cannons on the back end. To where my rocket loons are going to have to travel long distances between defenses, and also lightning spells aren't going to get you much value against this space because the air defenses on the back end are super spread out to where you can't efficiently zap all of them at once. And so against this base, I decide to go with Hog Raiders. Now, there's two main reasons I ended up choosing to do so. For one, even though the Barbarian camp is known to have so many anti-hog defenses, it's thrown out all four of the bomb towers like this near the outskirts of the base that we can pick off on the first attack. And two, there is a huge break in the defensive ring like this with all the trash buildings and obstacles to where if I start Hog Raiders on this Spear Thrower, I can reasonably predict that they're going to keep in a narrow path as they move through all of these defenses towards this back end rocket artillery, provided I clear out these three defenses over here to force them inside. So for the first attack, I clear out the trash on the outskirts with the Barbarian or two so I can send in a P.E.K.K.A. and cannon carts to try to push into the bomb towers and take those things out. I noticed that down here doesn't have that much point defense fire. As long as I drop in a couple of rocket balloons targeting them in to help take out these spear throwers and cannons, they'll relieve some fire off my P.E.K.K.A. and also they'll funnel the P.E.K.K.A. and carts inside to where I want them to go. And I also see that up the right side of the base, there's this huge section of defenses and buildings where it's not covered by any splash defense fire, to where I can just drop in a couple of skeleton barrels to try to take those all out, stagger drop them so I'm not weak to traps, and they'll probably die by the time they reach this cannon, which is protected by this multi-mortar, but they'll grab a ton of value for me up this right side of the base. And let's see this plan in action. Alright, getting into the actual replay, I start off by dropping in the Barbarian to start clearing some trash like I said, and a rocket balloon to pick off the Spear Thrower. Once the Barbarian works through all that trash down here, we're going to start with a ram to open up the walls towards those bomb tower sections. So we open up the wall and we can see that there is a Mega Hidden Tesla that the defender put outside there. I try to tank with the ram and drop in my P.E.K.K.A.s and carts, but unfortunately the ram goes south instead of north towards the wall I wanted it to open up, and so my P.E.K.K.A. starts walking on me. And that's a bit of a problem, but we just send in our two carts. They're pretty tanky on their own, and there isn't that much fire down here. I make sure I support them with the last rocket loon, and actually that P.E.K.K.A. that's walking is going to grab two of those defensive super giants, so it actually kind of worked out a little bit. And we also started working up the right side with our skeleton barrels. Just drop them in one at a time so that they don't all get blown up by traps at once. A Mega Hidden Tesla pops over there as well, and we're going to open up that section of the wall with a ram. And you're going to see those two carts, because there's not under that much fire and they have quite a bit of health on their own, they're going to be able to clear out all of those bomb towers on their own. They're not going to be able to grab those three defenses that I said was going to be important to funnel my hogs inside, but they get a lot of value even without the tanking of that P.E.K.K.A. which walked on them. But yeah, my skeletons are just going to move through. I still have one barrel in the bag. I'm going to drop it in towards the last Spear Thrower because my skeletons there are petering out. And they're going to help grab that multi-cannon, take out the Spear Thrower, and you're going to see that after that all goes down, they even have just enough juice to help quickly come in and snipe that cannon. And I didn't mention where I was going to drop in my spells during the planning phase. I forgot to tell you that I'm actually not going to be using any spells for this attack. I'm actually using those spells for the next attack so I can have more heals with my hogs. If you're going to try to use hogs against the Barbarian camp, you're going to want a lot of heals because there's a lot of bombs and a lot of splash defenses. So I start with a ram to tank the first shot of the rocket artillery, as well as distract some of the defenses on the approach. And I even bring a P.E.K.K.A. to clear those last two defenses to funnel my hogs in, as well as tank for the giant cannon. And now my hogs are working their way through, and as they start moving from defense to defense, I will drop in more Hog Raiders with the glider to help stun the defenses on their approach. You can see that Giant Cannon is going to be distracted on that P.E.K.K.A for ever, basically, until it goes down eventually. And as my Hogs eventually get in range of the Rocket Artillery, I decide to commit a double heal just to keep those Hogs alive. In general, one heal isn't going to be enough against the Rocket Artillery with how much damage it does, especially how much burst. I also get a little bit unlucky in that the Giant Cannon shoots me as my Hog Raiders are leaving the heal, so it forces my last heal very early. But you're going to see I have one back-end Larry for when that multi-mortar is distracted that I just sent in. Even though my Hogs are going to get blown up really low, all red by that one giant bomb, those back-end Larrys took out that one cannon and are now tanking 2 of the back-end spear throwers, so all my Hogs, which are basically one-shot, are going to have enough to push through those last defenses. So that one pack of Larrys destroyed 3 defenses and saved my Hogs on the back end, and that was basically the cherry on top for this crazy circus of an attack. So that was a really sick replay in showing how you can really pick apart bases and trying to take out every defense in the most optimal way possible. Now, we have a couple of other awesome replays today. Starting off, we have a couple of skeleton barrels on this builder's workshop. You can see there's not that many gaps in the base for traps, and so I just drop in 2 skeleton barrels, and with a ram to help break through the wall, they're going to be able to take out all of those point defenses on the approach. And so I don't have to commit too much troop space in terms of archers. I can just push through that all with a bunch of Larrys. And so we can save a bunch of troop space for deeper inside the base up the left side, where we're going to drop in a perfectly placed rage. That rage placement is really important to cover my archers on their approach to the giant cannon. And also I have 3 super wizards. I hope you guys know what I'm about to do to that district hall. I have to make sure I cover that district hall with the rage as well. So we're just pushing our way in slowly but surely, and once we reach the district hall, we are going to ×1/2 speed it. We tank the blast bow with a giant, and then we start dropping in our rams to help distract all of the other defenses. As we drop in 3 super wizards, they just get in range of that rage spell as they chain down everything around that district hall. They're also going to heavily damage the blast bow and the giant cannon. They're not quite going to have enough to take out those 2 defenses, but they're going to walk forward, take out the giant cannon. The blast bow is pretty low to where we can easily finish that off with our remaining archers, or just take that out in the finishing attack. So at this point, we're going to fast forward once again. Archers are slow, but we are going to try to pick off as much as we can. That blast bow just has a sliver of HP, and I already start with the swag heals on the river because I know I've taken out so much of the base. This base is almost completely crippled at this point, and we're just going to try to finish this off with some Hog Raiders. Starting off by picking off that blast bow finally with a pack of archers and a ram. We drop in a Larry on the top right to help tank some of the defenses on the approach, and because of how the base is set up, we can basically stun every single defense on our approach with our Hog Gliders. Just go really thin with our Hogs and just try to stun as much as we can, trying to take advantage of the Larrys to distract, as well as Rams to help distract. Rams are also a really great tank. You can see that one Ram is going to tank those 2 defenses, and those Barbs are going to come out and continue to tank some defenses and pull some traps. And yeah, you can see we still have 2 heals, and there's basically nothing left on the base. That one Barbarian pulled that log trap for the big group of Hogs, and we are going to swag 3 heals against this Builder's Workshop. Those rivers look mighty healthy. To finish things up, we're going to have a Balloon Lagoon, and we're going to start by dropping a Barbarian on that Rocket Balloon Barracks. You're going to see once that goes down, basically the entire map is going to open up for deployment. That's a bit of a base building mistake to make it that easy to flank all the way around the other side and easily reach those 2 rocket artilleries without even needing any rams. So we dropped that one first rage perfectly between both the rocket artilleries to cover our archers on the approach towards those, so that those archers get the damage boost through those high HP defenses. And once again, we're going to be finishing off this base with Hog Raider, so this video kind of turned into a Hog Raider special. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Lots of super wizards, and you can also see the value of Larrys in Hog Raider attacks. Larrys are probably the most underrated troop in the clan capital, easily a top 6 or top 7 troop for me, honestly. And yeah, we're just pushing our way in. We have a Super Wizard Bomb once more. So we just have to work through those few defenses towards the District Hall so we can drop in our Super Wizard Bomb on top of it and chain down so many defenses once more. One more pack of archers, take out that Spirit Thrower, and we have arrived, and we are going to put this replay at ×1/2 speed once again because we are cultured people on this channel. We watch Super Wizard Bombs at half speed, drop in a couple of rams to help tank the defenses, and then our 3 Super Wizards bomb that District Hall and chain down everything around. That is the most satisfying thing to watch in the clan capital, as that all goes down all at once. My Super Wizards are still healthy. They're going to push forward even a little bit more and chain down a couple of those clan houses and damage some of those defenses on the back end or front end, I guess. And I'm going to just push through a couple of those defenses with our archers, and we are good to go on our finishing hit, where we have a really cool trick that we do that I haven't really done before, and you're going to see what that is. I bring a Larry Barrel and a Super Dragon up the left side to help tank the rocket artillery and splash a bunch of defenses at once. When a bunch of 2x2 defenses or buildings are touching each other like that, the Super Dragon splash damage will just hit them all and get so much value. Now, the Super Dragon actually took a weird path, went low and got hit by the air defense and didn't get as much value as I wanted, but it's still got a bunch of defenses while tanking for my hogs because the hog raiders are super weak to the rocket artillery. So it was still pretty good value, but I did hope to get a little bit more. Now my hog raiders are just going to finish through the last couple of defenses and finish on that crusher, and we are able to swag one more heal on this attack. Now before I go, make sure you join our Discord server if you haven't already. Link will be below in the description. Come to chat with me and get help for the clan capital because I will always be active there during the raid weekends. But that'll be all from me for today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and take care.